After the Bluehouse 1 morning routine, the first rays of sunshine peeked through the curtains, casting a warm glow over the cozy bedroom. Blue, nestled snugly under her blanket, stirred in her sleep. A playful smile down face as she dressing butterfly and played light of chest on her face and playing gay her sister. Sudden, a familiar sound to the house, Dad's cheerful voice, Liz calling out, "Time to rise and shine, little Bluebell." Bluey's eyes fluttered open, and she stretched her paws with a happy groan. She hopped out of bed, her tail wagging excitedly. It was a brand new day, and a whole world of adventures awaited. First things first. It was time for her morning routine. She bounded over to her toy basket, carefully selecting her favorite cuddly toy, a fluffy blue bunny named Floppy. Floppy was her constant companion, always there to share in her games and adventures. With Floppy tucked under her arm, Bluey skipped towards the bathroom. In the bathroom, she stood on her tiptoes to reach the sink. She turned on the tap, the cool water splashing against her paws. She scrubbed her face with a bubbly sponge, making sure to get behind her ears. She brushed her teeth with her special doggy toothbrush, her tongue lolling out in concentration. After her refreshing wash, Bluey scampered back to her bedroom to get dressed. She pulled on her favorite blue shirt, the one with the cute little paw prints on it. She wiggled her way into her comfy pants and slipped on her bright red shoes. Finally, she gave her fur a quick brush, making sure she looked her best for the day ahead. With her morning routine complete, Bluey felt ready to tackle anything. She raced out of her room, eager to join her family for breakfast and start a new day of fun and games. Delicious aroma of pankillers wafteth vented through the air, drawing Bluey towards the kitchen. She could hear the sizzle of the pan and the clatter of cutlery as her parents, Bandit and Chili, prepared breakfast. Her tummy rumbled with anticipation, moaning, "Morning, Dad." Bluey greeted her parents with a cheerful wag of her tail. "Good morning," Chili replied, flipping a golden pancake in the air. "Did you have a good sleep?" Bluey exclaimed, hopping onto her chair at the kitchen table. Bandit placed a plate piled high with fluffy pancakes in front of her. "Here you go, eat up. You've got a big day ahead of you." Bluey drizzled her pancakes with pancake, honey and dully with gusto. She savored each bite, the sweetness of the honey perfectly complementing the fluffy pancakes. Across the table, Blue's little sister, was busy drawing a picture with crayons, her tongue sticking out in concentration. "What are you drawing?" Bluey asked, her mouth full of pancake. "It's a picture of you and me playing in the garden," Bingo replied, proudly displaying her colorful creation. "It's beautiful," Bluey exclaimed. "Can I keep it?" Bingo nodded, her face beaming with pride. Bluey carefully placed the drawing on the table, promising to treasure it forever. As the healers finished their breakfast, the warm morning sun streamed through the kitchen window, filling the room with a golden glow. It was going to be a perfect day for playing outside, exploring the backyard with breakfast finished and the dishes cleared away. Bluey and Bingo raced outside into the backyard. The sun was shining brightly, casting a warm glow over lush green grass and colorful flowers. The backyard was their own personal playground, a world of endless possibilities. "What do you want to play?" Bingo asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Bluey scanned the backyard, her mind buzzing with ideas. "Let's explore," she declared, setting off on a grand adventure. They followed a winding path through the tall grass, pretending it was a jungle filled with exotic creatures. They ducked under branches, hopped over rocks, and crawled through tunnels made of fallen leaves. Every corner of the backyard held a new surprise, a new adventure waiting to be discovered. They stumbled upon a patch of brightly colored flowers, their petals shimmering in the sunlight. Bluey carefully picked a few, creating a beautiful bouquet for her mum. They continued their exploration, their imaginations running wild. They discovered a family of ladybugs crawling on a leaf, their tiny bodies dotted with black spots. They watched in fascination as the ladybugs went about their busy day, their delicate wings fluttering as they flew from leaf to leaf. As they ventured deeper into the backyard, they came across a small pond, its surface sparkling like 1,000 diamonds. They knelt by the edge of the pond, watching the tiny fish darting through the water. Bluey dipped a paw into the cool water, giggling as the fish tickled her toes. The backyard was a world of wonder, a place where their imaginations could soar. Bleuy and Bingo spent hours exploring its hidden corners, their laughter echoing through the air. A surprise in the garden as Bleuy and Bingo ventured further into the backyard. They stumbled upon a hidden corner they had never explored before. A small gate, half hidden by overgrown vines, led to a secret garden. Curiosity piqued. They pushed open the gate and stepped inside. The secret garden was a magical place, filled with vibrant flowers, buzzing bees, and fluttering butterflies. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves of the trees, creating a soothing melody. In the center of the garden stood a magnificent oak tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like welcoming arms. Beneath the oak tree, they discovered a tiny birdhouse, painted in bright colors. A small brown bird perched on the edge of the birdhouse, chirping merrily. Blue Bingo watched in awe as the bird flitted and out of its cozy home, its tiny beak carrying twigs and leaves to build its nest. Suddenly, a rustling sound caught their attention. They turned to see a small, furry creature scurrying through the undergrowth. It was a hedgehog, its prickly spines glistening in the sunlight. The hedgehog paused, its tiny nose twitching as it sniffed the air. Bluey and Bingo held their breath, not wanting to scare the timid creature. The hedgehog, sensing no danger, continued on its way, disappearing into the dense foliage. Bluey and Bingo exchanged excited glances. They had never seen a hedgehog up close before. The secret garden was full of surprises. As they explored the garden further, they discovered a hidden path leading to a small pond. The pond was covered in lily pads, their white flowers blooming in the sunshine. A family of ducks swam gracefully across the pond, their quacking echoing through the peaceful garden. The secret garden was a haven of peace and tranquility, a world away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Bluey and Bingo to sense of wonder awe as they explore, and awe erfährt its hidden treasures. Naptime tales. After a morning with exciting adventures in the backyard, Bluey and Bingo began to feel sleepy. The warm sun and the gentle breeze had lulled them into a state of peaceful drowsiness. It was time for their afternoon nap. They trudged back inside, their little paws padding softly on the wooden floor. Chili was waiting for them in the living room, a cozy blanket spread out on the sofa. "Hey, little ones," Chili said softly, her voice soothing and gentle. Blue and Bingo snuggled under the blanket, their eyelids growing heavy. Chili sat beside them, a book in her hand. "Would you like me to read you a story?" she asked, her voice a gentle murmur. "Please, Mum," Blue and Bingo replied in unison, their voices barely above a whisper. Chili opened the book and began to read, her voice weaving a magical tale of faraway lands, talking animals, and brave adventurers. Blue and Bingo listened intently, their imaginations soaring as they were transported to a world of wonder and enchantment. The story unfolded, filled with exciting twists and turns, and the gentle rhythm of Chili's voice lulled them deep into a peaceful slumber. Their breathing slowed, their bodies relaxed, and the minds drifted off to dreamland. As Chili finished the story, she gazed lovingly at her two sleeping pups. Their faces were serene and peaceful, their little chests rising and falling with each gentle breath. She tucked the blankets snugly around them, a warm smile gracing her lips. Nap time was a special time in the Healer household, a time for rest and rejuvenation. It was a time for sweet dreams and peaceful slumber, a time for the imagination to run wild. Chapter Bluey's Friends 1. Muffin's mischief. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and Bluey was feeling extra playful. She skipped down the street, her tail wagging excitedly, on her way to visit her best friend. Muffin lived in a big, colorful house with a garden full of exciting things to explore. As Bluey approached the house, she could hear Muffin's infectious giggles echoing from the backyard. "Muffin, I'm here," Bluey called out, pushing open the gate. Muffin came bounding towards her, her little face lit up with a mischievous grin. "Let's play a game," she exclaimed, her energy bubbling over. Muffin was always full of beans, her imagination running wild with endless ideas for games and adventures. Today, she had a particularly mischievous plan in mind. "Let's play sneaky squirrels," Muffin announced, her eyes twinkling. "Sneaky squirrels?" Bluey questioned, intrigued. "Yes," Muffin explained. "We have to sneak around the garden without anyone seeing us. The first one to reach the big oak tree wins." Bluey was up for the challenge. They tiptoed through the garden, hiding behind bushes, ducking under flower pots, and creeping past the windows. Muff, with her boundless energy, was like a little ninja, darting from one hiding spot to another. Lou, trying her best to be quiet, accidentally bumped into a watering can, sending it clattering to the ground. Muffin giggled uncontrollably, her laughter echoing through the garden. "You're out," Muffin declared, her voice filled with glee. Bluey couldn't help but laugh along. Even though she had been caught, she was having too much fun to care. Muffin's mischievous spirit was contagious, and Bluey was always up for a silly adventure. Sock's silly antics after their mischievous game of sneaky squirrels. Bluey and Muffin decided to visit Bluey's baby cousin. Socks was a tiny, fluffy ball of energy, always getting into mischief with her adorable wobbly walk. When they arrived at Sock's house, they found her in the living room, surrounded by a mountain of colorful toys. Socks was crawling around on all fours, her little tongue lolling out as she explored her surroundings. "We're here," Blue announced, her voice filled with excitement. Socks looked up, her big eyes widening with delight. She let out a happy squeal and crawled towards them, her tiny arms outstretched. Muffin scooped Socks up in a big hug, her laughter echoing through the room. Socks giggled in response, her tiny body wriggling with joy. "Let's play a game," Socks, Muffin suggested, her eyes twinkling with mischief. They decided to play a game that always sent Socks into finted sucks eights and tate sucks of giggles. Muffin and Blue crawled around on the floor, chasing their tails in circles. Sock, with her wobbly walk, tried her best to keep up, her laughter filling the room. As they played, Socks discovered a new trick. She could stand up on her hind legs and walk like a human. She wobbled around the room, her arms outstretched for balance, her face beaming with pride. Bluey and Muffin clapped and cheered, encouraging Socks in her newfound skill. Sock, thrilled with the attention, continued her wobbly walk, her laughter echoing through the house. Sock, with her silly antics and infectious laughter, brought joy to everyone around her. Bluey and Muffin loved spending time with their adorable little cousin, their hearts melting at her every giggle and wobble. Chloe's creativity. After their playful visit with Socks, Bluey and Muffin decided to head over to Chloe's house. Chloe was a gentle and imaginative Dalmatian with a love for all things creative. Her house was always filled with colorful drawings, whimsical crafts, and imaginative games. As they approached Chloe's house, they noticed her sitting on the front porch, surrounded by paints and brushes. She was busy painting a large canvas, her brow furrowed in concentration. "What are you painting?" Bluey asked, her voice filled with curiosity. Chloe looked up, a warm smile spreading across her face. "I'm painting a picture of my dreamland," she replied, gesturing towards the canvas. Bluey and Muffin peered at the painting, their eyes widening with wonder. Chloe had created a magical world filled with swirling colors, fantastical creatures, and shimmering stars. It was a world where anything was possible, a world where dreams came to life. "It's beautiful," Muffin exclaimed, her voice filled with admiration. Chloe blushed, her cheeks turning a rosy pink. "Thank you," she replied shyly. "Would you like to help me paint?" Blue and Muffin eagerly agreed, their creative spirits ignited. They picked up brushes and dipped them in paint, adding their own touches to Chloe's masterpiece. Muffin painted a field of colorful flowers, while Bluey added a friendly-looking dragon soaring through the sky. As they painted, they chatted and giggled, their imaginations soaring. Chloe's creativity was contagious, inspiring Bluey and Muffin to express their own artistic talents. They painted until the sun began to set, their canvas a testament to their shared imagination and friendship. Jack's journey. The next day, Bluey decided to visit her friend Jack. Jack was energetic and Jack Russell Terrier who loved to go to on adventures. He was always coming up with exciting games and stories, his mind a whirlwind of ideas. When Blue arrived at Jack's house, she found him in the backyard, dressed in a pirate costume complete, with an eye patch and a cardboard sword. He was pacing back and forth, muttering to himself and waving his sword in the air. "Ahoy there, mate!" Jack exclaimed, spotting Bluey. "Welcome aboard the SS Imagination." Bluey giggled, her imagination sparked by Jack's enthusiasm. "What adventure are we going on today, Captain Jack?" she asked, playing along. "We're on a quest to find the hidden treasure," Jack declared, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "But beware, mate, there be dangerous creatures lurking in these waters." With that, Jack set off on his imaginary journey, leading Blue through the backyard, which had transformed into a treacherous sea. They navigated through a jungle of tall grass, climbed over rocky mountains made of piled-up cushions, and crossed a raging river made of a garden hose. Along the way, they encountered fearsome pirates, mischievous monkeys, and even a giant kraken made of a garden gnome and a blanket. Jack, with his boundless energy and imagination, narrated their adventure, his voice filled with drama and excitement. Finally, after a long and perilous journey, they reached the X that marked the spot of the hidden treasure. They dug in the sandpit, their paws uncovering a treasure chest filled with colorful pebbles and shiny buttons. "We did it!" Jack exclaimed, his voice filled with triumph. "We found the hidden treasure." Bluey and Jack shared a high five, their laughter echoing through the backyard. Their imaginations had taken them on an incredible journey, a testament to the power of friendship and play. The power of friendship. One sunny afternoon, Bluey decided to invite all her friends over for a playdate. Muff and Jack arrived at the Healer house, their faces beaming with excitement. The backyard was transformed into a bustling playground, filled with laughter and endless fun. Muff, true to her mischievous nature, initiated a game, her giggles echoing yard as she chased her friends around the tag. The trampoline, with her newfound walking skills, wobbled around, her laughter adding to the joyful chorus. Inspired by the vibrant colors of the garden, decided to create a nature collage. She gathered leaves, flower, and twigs, arranging them into beautiful patterns on a large sheet of paper. Blue and Muffin joined in, their creativity blossoming as they had added their own touches to the artwork. Ever the adventurer, little group on an imaginary expedition through the backyard. They climbed Manka River, made of a brown blever, crossed the pillow, and encountered a fairy dragon, a sprinkler spraying water as the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the backyard. The friends gathered together, exhausted but happy. They shared stories, laughter, and snacks, their bond strengthened by their shared experiences. Blue realized was like having a whole collection, amazing unfriend of amazing ventures, each one unique and special. Muffin's mischievous spirit, Sock's silly antics, Chloe's creativity, and Jack's adventurous nature all added something wonderful to her life. Together, they were an unstoppable team, their friendship a source of endless joy and support. They knew that no matter what challenges they faced, they could always count on each other. Chapter Games Galore. Keepy uppy. The sun was shining brightly in the clear blue sky, casting a warm glow over the Healer's backyard. Bluey and Bingo were bursting with energy, ready for a day of fun and games. "What do you want to play?" Bingo asked, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. "Let's play Keepy Uppy," Bluey exclaimed, her tail wagging excitedly. Keepy Uppy was one of their favorite games. It was simple, yet endlessly entertaining. The goal was to keep a balloon in the air for as long as possible, using only the heads and paws. Blue blew up a bright red balloon, its cheerful color adding to the excitement. "Ready," she shouted, tossing the balloon high into the air. Bingo leaped into action, her little nose booping the balloon upwards. Bluey joined in, her head sending the balloon soaring even higher. They giggled and cheered, their movements a synchronized dance as they kept the balloon afloat. The balloon bobbed and weaved through the air, a playful challenge to their skills. They twisted, turned, and jumped, their determination growing with each successful hit, the baccio and the satisfying turn of the boater, of Bloom, le balloon. Ben, hearing the commotion, emerged from the house, a curious smile on his face. "What's all this excitement?" he asked, watching the game unfold. "We playing keepy uppy," Blue replied, her eyes glued to the balloon. Bandit, always up for a challenge, joined in the fun. His long legs and impressive height gave him an advantage, his head effortlessly sending the balloon skyward. Bluey and Bingo squealed with delight, their laughter mingling with Bandit's playful growls. The game continued, the balloon becoming a symbol of their shared joy and connection. They played until the sun began to set, their hearts filled with the warmth of family and the simple pleasure of a gamely, and the simple pleasure Lou well play. Magic Claw. After the exhilarating game of keepy uppy, Bluey and Bingo were eager for another challenge. They decided to play a game that tested badgered their reflexes and coordination. Bandit set up the game in the living room, transforming the coffee table into a magical arcade machine. He draped a colorful blanket over the table, creating a hidden world underneath. He then gathered a collection of toys and treats, and a long stick with a small hook at tackle, placing them strickle. "Step right up, ladies and gentlemen," Bandit announced, his voice booming like a carnival barker. "Test your skills with the amazing Magic Claw. Win fantastic prize." Bluey and Bingo giggled with excitement, their eyes wide with anticipation. They took turns maneuvering the claw, their concentration focused on snatching the desired prize. The challenge lay in controlling the claw's movements, guiding it with precision to grab the elusive treasures. With her steady hand, managed to snag a fluffy unicorn toy. Then, after a few attempts, triumphantly captured a bag of delicious doggy treats. Their faces lit up with joy as they claimed their prizes, their laughter echoing through living room. The game continued, the excitement building with each successful grab. They experimented with different techniques, learning to control the claw with increasing accuracy. They cheered each other on, their competitive spirit tempered with playful encouragement. Magic Claw was more than just a game. It was a test of skill, a lesson in patience, and a celebration of shared laughter. Bluey and Bingo learned that with practice and perseverance, they could achieve their goals, even if it meant a few missed attempts along the way. Granny's one afternoon, Bluey and Bingo were feeling a bit bored. They had played all their usual games, and their imaginations were starting to feel a little sleepy. Just then, Chili had a brilliant idea. "Why don't we play Grannies?" she suggested, a mischievous twinkle in her eye. Bluey and Bingo loved playing Grannies. It was a game where they pretended to be old and grumpy, hobbling around the house, hunchbacks and exaggerated groans. "My aching bones," Bluey grumbled, shuffling her feet and pretending to use a walking stick. "Don't you talk to me in that tone, young lady," Bingo retorted, her voice a croaky imitation of a grumpy old woman. They hobbled around the house, complaining about everything and anything. The stairs were too steep, the tea was too cold, and the television was too loud. They even had a pretend argument about who had the fluffiest slippers. Ben, amused by their antics, decided to join in the fun. He put on a pair of oversized glasses and a silly hat, transforming himself into a doddering old grandpa. "No, see here, you whippersnappers," he exclaimed, waving his pretend cane in the air. "Back in my day, we didn't have all these fancy gadgets. We had to walk both ways to school, in the snow." Bluey and Bingo giggled uncontrollably, their grumpy facades crumbling as they dissolved into laughter. The house was filled with the joyous sounds of their playful banter. Granny's was at a gale laws and outside that allowed them to explore roles in their usual perspective. It was a chance to be silly, to exaggerate, and to laugh at themselves. And most importantly, it was a reminder that even growing old could be a lot of fun. Shadowlands as the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the backyard. Bluey and Bingo decided Shadowlands. This was a game of imagination and play, imagination, Bleuy, where the world transformed into a magical realm filled with mysterious creatures. Chitchord hidden dangers. The backyard became the Shadowlands, a place where the ordinary became extraordinary. The tall grass transformed into a dense forest. The garden gnome became a fearsome troll, and the clothesline became a bridge over a raging river. Bluey and Bingo crept through the Shadowlands, their senses heightened, their imaginations running wild. They whispered secrets to each other, their voices barely audible above the rustling leaves and chirping crickets. "Watch out," Bluey whispered, pointing to a shadowy figure lurking behind a tree. "It's a Gruffalo," Bingo gasped, her eyes wide with fear and excitement. They tiptoed past the Gruffalo, their hearts pounding in their chests. They encountered other creatures along their journey, a mischievous goblin hiding under a bush, a wise old owl perched on a branch, and a family of fairies dancing in a moonlit clearing. As they ventured deeper into the Shadowlands, they discovered a hidden cave. They crept inside, their eyes adjusting to the darkness. The cave was filled with glowing rocks and sparkling crystals, creating an ethereal atmosphere. They emerged from the cave, feeling brave and empowered. They had faced their fears and explored the unknown, their imaginations guiding them through the Shadowlands. As the moon replaced the sun, casting a silvery glow over the backyard, Bluey and Bingo returned to the real world. Their hearts filled with the magic of their adventure. They knew that even in the ordinary, there was always room for the extraordinary, if only they used their imaginations. The game of life one rainy afternoon, with the pitter-patter of raindrops drumming against the windows, Bluey and Bingo found themselves stuck indoors. They had exhausted their usual repertoire of games, and boredom was starting to set in. Just then, Bandit came to the rescue with a dusty old box he had found in the attic. "Look what I found," he announced, a mischievous glint in his eye. The game of life. Bluey and Bingo had never played the game of life before, and their curiosity was piqued. They gathered around the table, eager to learn the rules and embark on this new adventure. The game board unfolded before them, a colorful map representing the journey of life. They chose their colorful cars and spun the wheel, their excitement growing with each turn. They navigated through the twists and turns of life, making choices about careers, family, and houses. They landed on spaces that brought unexpected surprises, a new puppy, a dream vacation, or a sudden windfall. With her adventurous spirit, chose a career as a pilot, soaring through the skies in her imaginary airplane. Bing, with her love for animals, became a veterinarian, caring for all creatures great and small. They experienced the ups and downs of life, the joys and challenges that came with each new stage. They learned about responsibility, decision-making, and the importance of family and friends. As the game progressed, they realized that life was full of surprises, both good and bad, but most importantly, they learned that life was a journey to be enjoyed, a game to be played with enthusiasm and a positive attitude. Chapter: Family Fun. Camping Adventures. The weekend had arrived, and the Healer family was buzzing with excitement. They were going on a camping adventure. Bluey and Bingo had never been camping before, and their imaginations were running wild with visions of sleeping under the stars, roasting marshmallows, and telling spooky stories around a campfire. Bandit and Chili packed the car with all the essentials, a sleeping bag, a cooler full of delicious food, and of course, plenty of games and toys to keep Bluey and Bingo entertained. The drive to the campsite was filled with anticipation. Blue and Bingo peered out the windows, their eyes wide with wonder as they watched the scenery screech forth alerts from bustling city change to reem forests. Upon arrival, they were greeted by the sight of towering trees, a sparkling lake, and the sounds of nature's symphony, chirping birds, rustling leaves, and the gentle lapping of waves against the shore. Bandit set up the tent, transforming it into a cozy home away from home. Chili unpacked the cooler, revealing a feast of sandwiches, fruit, and their favorite snacks. Bluey and Bingo explored their new surroundings, their curiosity leading them on a nature walk. They discovered a family of ducks waddling along the lake shore, a squirrel scampering up a tree trunk, and a colourful butterfly fluttering among the wildflowers as dusk settled. Casting a warm glow over the campsite, Bandit built a campfire. The flames crackled and danced. Casting flickering shadows on their faces, they roasted marshmallows, their gooey sweetness a delightful treat. As the stars twinkled overhead, they gathered around the campfire, sharing stories and laughter. Chili told tales of mischievous fairies and magical creatures, while Bandit recounted his own childhood camping adventures. Bluey and Bingo snuggled into their sleeping bags, their hearts filled with the warmth of family and the math of family and the magic of the outdoors. They drifted off to sleep, lulled by the sounds of nature's lullaby. Beach day bonanza. The sun was shining, the sky was a brilliant blue, and the Healer family was off to the beach for a day of fun in the sun. Bluey and could barely contain as they piled their excitement and pined to the car, their beach bags filled with towels, sunscreen, and their favorite sandcastle building tools. The drive to the beach was filled with anticipation. Bluey and Bingo sang songs, played games, and gazed out the window at the passing scenery, their eyes sparkling with excitement. Upon arrival, they were greeted by a sight of golden sand stretching as far as the eye could see, the rhythmic crashing of waves against the shore, and the salty tang of the ocean breeze. Bluey and Bingo raced across the sand, their laughter echoing across the beach. They splashed in the cool water, built magnificent sandcastles, and collected seashells, their imaginations transforming them into pirates searching for buried treasure. Bandit challenged Chili to a sandcastle building competition, their creations becoming increasingly elaborate with moots, drawbridges, and towering turrets. Bluey and Bingo acted as judges, awarding points for creativity and structural integrity. Chili spread out a picnic blanket, and they enjoyed a delicious lunch of sandwiches, fruit, and refreshing drinks. They played frisbee, flew kites, and chased each other through the waves, their laughter mingling with the sounds of the ocean. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the water, they gathered seashells and built a small bonfire. They roasted marshmallows, the gooey sweetness a perfect ending to a perfect day. The beach day was a bonanza of fun, laughter, and family togetherness. Bluey and Bingo's hearts were filled with joy as they drove home, their sandy-toned sun-kissed cheeks a testament to their unforgettable beach adventure. A trip to the market. One sunny Saturday morning, the Healer family decided to trip to the local farmers' market. Bluey and Bingo loved the market, with its vibrant colors, enticing smells, and bustling atmosphere. They strolled through the stalls, their eyes wide with wonder at the variety of fresh produce on display: plump red tomatoes, leafy green spinach, juicy oranges, and fragrant herbs. Bandit and Kelly carefully selected their groceries, choosing the freshest ingredients for their upcoming meals. Bluey and Bingo helped by carrying small baskets, their little paws proudly clutching bags of carrots and apples. They sampled delicious treats, like warm bread with homemade jam, creamy goat cheese, and sweet honeycombs. They even got to try a piece of exotic fruit they had never seen before, its taste a surprising explosion of flavors. The market was not just about food. It was a community gathering place, a place to connect with friends and neighbors. Bluey and Bingo bumped into some of their friends from school, and they played tag amongst the stalls, their laughter echoing through the market. They watched a local musician play lively tunes on his guitar, his music adding to the festive atmosphere. They even got to participate in a children's cooking class, where they learned how to and delicious snacks using fresh ingredients from and make simple arts from the market. The trip to the market was a sensory feast, a delightful experience that engaged all their senses. Bluey and Bingo returned home with full bellies, happy hearts, and a newfound appreciation for the variety and variety of produce availability of frustration in the community. Friday movie night in the Healer household, a cherished tradition that brought the family together for an evening of laughter, snack, and cinematic adventures. Bluey and Bingo helped Chili prepare the living room, transforming it into a cozy movie theater. They spread out blankets and pillows on the floor, creating a comfy nest for their family movie marathon. Bandit popped a big bowl of popcorn, its buttery aroma filling the air. Chili prepared a platter of their favorite movie snacks: crunchy veggie sticks, juicy fruit slices, and a bowl of delicious dips. They dimmed the lights, creating a cinematic ambience. The opening credits rolled on the screen, and the family snuggled together, their anticipation growing with each passing scene. They watched a hilarious animated film, their laughter echoing through the living room. They gasped at the suspenseful moments, cheered for the heroes, and booed the villains. During the intermission, they paused the movie for a bathroom break and a refill of snacks. Bluey and Bingo reenacted their favorite scenes, their imaginations, bringing the movie to life in their own playful way. As the movie reached its climax, they held their breath, their eyes glued to the screen. The heartwarming ending brought smiles to their face and a warm feeling of gone faces. Ample Contman. Movie night was more than just entertainment. It was a time for bonding, for sharing laughter and emotions, and for creating lasting memories. It was a reminder that even the simplest activities, like watching a movie together, could be filled with joy and meaning when shared with loved ones. Family hugs as the day drew to a close and the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the living room. The Healer family gathered there for their favorite evening ritual.
Family.
Bleuy and Bingo snuggled up to Bandit and Chili on the comfy couch, their little bodies enveloped in the warmth of their parents' love. They closed their eyes, savoring the feeling of closeness and connection. Bandit wrapped his strong arms around his girls, his heart swelling with pride and affection. Chili nuzzled her cheek against their soft fur, her love radiating like a warm embrace. They stayed like that for a while, lost in the quiet comfort of each other's presence. The only sounds were the gentle rhythm of Ethan and the soft ticking of Bleuthen, little Blue Pell. Family hugs were a time for expressing love and appreciation, a time for strengthening their bond and reaffirming their connection. It was a reminder that no matter what challenges they faced, they would always have each other's support. In those quiet moments of embrace, Bluey and Bingo felt safe and secure, surrounded by the unconditional love of their family. They knew that they were loved for who they were, quirks and all. Family hugs were a simple yet powerful expression of love, a reminder that the most important things they share in life were the bonds and shared loved ones. you.